Milwaukee at Miller Park. The sun is shining, blue skies overhead, and we've got ourselves a great matchup between the Atlanta Braves and the Milwaukee Brewers. Just how good is the matchup? Well, Milwaukee has the best record in the National League. Atlanta, the fourth best record in the National League. This one should be a lot of fun here this afternoon. And hello there, everybody. Justin Kutcher alongside Eric Karros. Eric, it is July 7th. I don't think many people would have thought before the year that these two teams would be in their respective positions on July 7th. Speaking of which, how about the play of Jesus Aguilar for these Milwaukee Brewers?
Well, you talk about this Milwaukee Brewer ball club. They're second in the National League in home runs, and a big reason, Jesus Aguilar. We watched him last night. He hit an absolute bomb. This was a three-run shot. This goes off the video portion of the scoreboard. Now, what's he doing this year? He's hit 20 home runs already. And this is a guy that didn't hit his first home run until April 21st of this year. You look at those numbers, 307, 20 home runs, 59 RBIs. This guy should be in Washington for the All-Star game.
Speaking of a guy who should be in Washington for the All-Star game, a young guy for the Braves, Ozzie Albies.
You talk about one of the young, exciting baseball players in our game. This is a man to watch. He is tied in the major leagues in extra base hits with 50, but what I love, the excitement, the enthusiasm on the base pass. We watched him score the other day on a ground ball back to the pitcher. He comes and brings it every single day. And as I mentioned, 50 extra base hits. This guy is an Altuve lookalike. Can't wait to watch him play this afternoon.
It really will be a lot of fun. He'll have to go up against a pitcher he will not be familiar with. It is Aaron Wilkerson, who is making the spot start here for Milwaukee in place of Brent Suter, who is out with a left forearm strain. Wilkerson this year in AAA Colorado Springs. In 7 starts, he has appeared in 8 games, 2-2 with a 2.08 ERA. 34 and 2/3 innings pitched. He has made 1 appearance out of the bullpen this year for Milwaukee. That came last Sunday at Cincinnati. But he will have to deal with a Braves team which has lost a season-high 4 in a row. And the lineup looks like this. Ender Inciarte will lead things off. Albies bats second. Freddie Freeman in the 3-hole. Nick Markakis has been so good all year. Bats cleanup. Camargo bats 5th and plays 3rd. Charlie Culberson will start in left field. Tyler Flowers behind the plate. Dansby Swanson at short. And Anibal Sanchez will do the pitching. Brian Snitker and his team come in a record of 49 and 38. You cannot ask for better weather here this afternoon in Milwaukee. And the first pitch from Wilkerson is taken for a ball from Ender Inciarte.
Well, with Inciarte and Albies up at the top of this lineup, I mean, these two have really initiated a lot of offense for this ball club as of late.
Inciarte showed bunt, then slapped it foul. Ron Washington had to duck out of the way. 1 ball and 1 strike to Inciarte.
Again, Inciarte, put the ball in play, likes to steal some bases. One of the prototypical leadoff hitters of yesteryear.
In the air, center field. There's Christian Yelich. 1 away. A look at the defense behind Wilkerson. We just saw Yelich make the catch in center field. In left field, Hernan Perez. He was a late entry into the lineup, replacing Ryan Braun. Braun was scratched with right side tightness. In the infield, Aguilar we mentioned, Brad Miller, Tyler Saladino. Saladino, what an acquisition he has been for the Brewers. Travis Shaw at 3rd. Eric Kratz doing the catching behind the plate. Here is Ozzie Albies, the switch hitting 21-year-old second baseman, who is just like a spark plug of energy. 280, 18 home runs, 50 RBIs, 29 doubles on the season.
Well, Albies is up there to do some damage, and he's not a guy that's going to take a lot of pitches or work the count. He's up there swinging. And you see right there, that's a 1-0 pitch. It's out of the zone, but that doesn't mean that he can't drive the ball. Not afraid to do some damage at the plate.
The 1-1 from Aaron Wilkerson. Fouled straight back. Albies was on that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. See that smile from Albies? You'll see a lot of that.
Yeah, it's infectious. And as I mentioned, just a lot of enthusiasm. A fun player to watch, whether he's on the base pass, at the plate, out on defense.
1-2, fouled back, same location. We'll do it again. Brian Snitker talking to us today. He mentioned about this young kid. He's been the youngest player on virtually every team he's been on, and yet he's always a leader. He has that leadership quality to him. He has that it factor. In the dirt, 2 balls and 2 strikes. How about that right there? You don't see that very often. Pick up the ball and actually bat it back towards the dugout. Little pepper, little fungo. Two rolled over to first base. Could be a tough play. And they just do get Albies at first base with Wilkerson covering. Quinn Wolcott is the first base umpire. Let's take a look if the Braves will take a second look.
Well, nice job by Wilkerson hustling over there. And he's safe. He's safe.
And they are going to ask for a review.
Yeah, that looked like he beat him by a good step right there. You know, as a first baseman, you always want to get the ball to the pitcher as soon as you can, or a second baseman, when he's got the ball, throw it to the pitcher as soon as he gets over there. Don't try to time it when he's reaching the bag, because then it's, I've got to catch the ball and I've got to find the bag. I've got to kind of stutter step. You know, in that situation, if Miller could have got Wilkerson the ball much earlier, it would have been easier as far as the footwork is concerned.
Would you agree that it's a much more difficult play for the second baseman than it is for the first baseman because they don't practice it as much?
Well, probably that they don't practice it as much. The only thing I would say, though, is the second baseman in that situation is moving towards first, where the first baseman a lot of times is moving away. The angle isn't as easy. It's just, as you mentioned, it's probably not practiced a lot. But as I mentioned, the most important thing, get the ball to the pitcher as soon as you can. Don't wait for him to get to the bag.
And there is a smile for Albies as the call is overturned. It will be an infield single here for Ozzie Albies, and that'll bring up Freddie Freeman. Freeman's numbers: 304, 16 home runs, 57 RBIs. Putting together another all-star season is Freddie Freeman. Freeman goes the other way, foul.
Now we've got a shift too right now, where you've got 3 players on the right side of the infield. You know, so what does that do? That provides some issues for Shaw, Travis Shaw, because if there's a base hit, you know, who's going to get over there to cover third? Does a pitcher get down there? Does a catcher? Especially if Shaw has to go to his left.
Check on Albies, who's 8 for 11 in stolen bases on the season. The 0-1 to Freeman, up and in, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Mentioned Freddie having another all-star season, MVP type season, but he struggled. I mean, since around Father's Day, he's gone from about 340 to where he is now. Hasn't been driving the ball, expanded his strike zone.
Albies back in safely. Now Craig Counsell says, nope, not going to challenge. He's safe.
Freddie got hit the other night. CC Sabathia hit him the right arm. Had to come out of the game.
Breaking ball swung on and missed. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Freddie Freeman, as you mentioned, his struggles on this road trip right now is 5 for 30.
Just in the shift right now, they move Travis Shaw over now to the right side of the infield from that third base spot.
That's up and in from Wilkerson. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You figure, so why do they do that? Well, they do that because now the shortstop is in his normal spot. Miller over at second base is in his normal spot. Only one guy really out of position, and that is Shaw.
Outside with a off-speed pitch, and now it's 3 balls and 2 strikes here to Freeman. Do you send Albies here?
I do. I make things happen, especially with the way that the defense is set up right now. Because then who goes to cover second base? If it's the shortstop, then that whole left side is open. There he goes.
He is going 3-2, and it's fouled back.
And you see what happens there. He goes, and so that forces the shortstop to go cover second base, and you have nobody on that left side. Not that Freeman's going to try to hit the ball that way, but it is an option. You also, with the shortstop covering second base there, then that leaves third base wide open. So if Freeman does get a base hit, basically Albies, he only has to beat the pitcher or catcher to third base.
Again, he's off with the pitch. Freeman does go to left field, but it's foul and out of play.
See, in the way the way the infielders just moved in that situation, shortstop goes to cover second while Albies attempts the steal. Miller, the second baseman, started running towards third base. So he is the cover guy at third. Very interesting because he starts on the right side of the field.
Again, 3 balls and 2 strikes here to Freeman. And this time they will throw over and check on Albies to make sure he doesn't get too big of a jump. The Braves have lost a season high 4 in a row. Lost 2 in New York and the first 2 here in Milwaukee.
You mentioned that losing the first 2, they have not lost a series here. I want to say in close to 5 years.
"3-2 is pulled through the shifts. Albies takes the turn at second. He's going to get into third, as you mentioned, because Saladino was backpedaling towards third base, and no throw from right field from Eric Thames. So first and third, 1 out here in the first.
Well, interesting. This is an outside pitch. He pulls it to right field, but just as you mentioned, the shortstop's really got no chance. And Albies makes up his mind about 5 or 6 steps before he gets to second. He recognizes where the shortstop is and says, look, I'll take that foot race all day long.
So runners on the corners here in the first for Nick Markakis, who has been the most consistent hitter this season for Atlanta. .324, 10 home runs, 58 RBIs, and on base percentage just under .390. And this is one of those guys where really can't shift against him. Travis Shaw is well off the bag at third base. And the first pitch is high and outside for ball 1.
Well, Markakis right here looking for something up in the zone or something he can pull. Wide pull, right side of the infield wide open, something up in the zone, get a sacrifice fly. Obviously stay out of a ground ball up the middle or a double play situation.
2 balls and no strikes to Markakis.
As a hitter right now, just you're looking for a zone. You're not sitting on a pitch, you're looking for a location. By Markakis, I'm looking for something up, out, over the plate right now.
On 2-0, he takes the breaking ball, sets up 3 balls and no strikes with Camargo on deck.
And I've still got to be careful right now, even though it's a 3-0 situation. If I'm Wilkerson, I'm thinking I'm not afraid to put him on and then just start over, bases loaded, and hope to have Camargo hit into a double play.
A 4-pitch walk to Markakis will load the bases as we take a look at our forward keys to the game.
Well, pretty simple here. I mean, Wilkerson's just got to give the Brewers some length, give them some innings. Don't want to get into that bullpen early. Hopefully 5. The Braves keep this Milwaukee team in the ballpark. How they score runs, they're second in the National League in home runs. Aguilar hit that big 3-run shot yesterday.
Well, now the bases are loaded here. 1 out for Johan Camargo, the switch hitting third baseman. And the first pitch breaking ball is in there for a strike.
Well, Atlanta had some trouble late in the game yesterday getting the runs in. The second and third, nobody out. They were unable to score. They end up losing the game by 1 run. Opportunity here to put up a crooked number.
Another breaking ball doesn't drop in, and it's 1-1. Walt Weiss, the bench coach for Atlanta. We saw Chuck Hernandez there with Brian Snitker. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count to Camargo. 256, 9 home runs on the season, and he waves at that pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Two for 7 this year with the bases loaded, but .333 for his career with 1 grand slam. Right now, just looking for a base hit. The 1-2, and he gets that base hit through the hole on the left side. Freeman's being waved around. No throw from Perez, and it's 2-0 Atlanta. Really nice 2-strike approach by Johan Camargo.
Well, this is not the location you want it, though. This is up, out, over the plate right there. And all he does is just really slaps the ball the other way. You can see with just one real infielder, Shaw is shifted way over. Saladino playing up the middle. Just, you wanted that pitch down in the zone.
So already a mound visit charged here to the Brewers. Eric Kratz goes out to speak to Aaron Wilkerson with Charlie Culberson coming up. Culberson getting the start in left field here today.
Hey, he had a start the other day in right field. Again, kind of the super utility guy. Came over from the Dodgers, where he'd done a wonderful job the last few years.
Ronald Acuna Jr. was injured in last night's game. He is available today. They just wanted to give him an extra day if they could, as Culberson takes the first pitch breaking ball for a ball. There's Acuna on the bench. A fun, young, exciting player to watch for the Braves. 2 balls and no strikes. Aaron Wilkerson. What a story he is. Wilkerson making the spot start here for Brent Suter. Coming up from AAA Colorado Springs. This is a guy who had Tommy John surgery back in 2011, was working in the frozen food section at a supermarket, and then signed with an independent league team in Fort Worth, Texas. And here he is at 29 years old. pitching in the big leagues, starting for the best team in the National League, the Milwaukee Brewers. But he's behind in the count 3-0 to Charlie Culberson. And Culberson taking all the way, takes the pitch outside. And the fans are getting restless here already as the bases are loaded once again. And that will bring out the pitching coach, Derek Johnson.
Now, Wilkerson obviously just no command right now. Saw he had the 4-pitch walk to Nick Markakis, a 4-pitch walk here to Charlie Culberson. Obviously, the location to Johan Camargo on the base hit was not where he wanted. Now look, he's out there. He wants to do well. He wants to do better than anybody in this ballpark wants him to do. And he's trying. Just can't seem to locate. I'm sure the adrenaline, the nervousness, all those sorts of things. Just need to take a deep breath. Try and slow things down. Easy to say when you're sitting in the stands or sitting here in the booth.
1 out, bases loaded, 30th pitch coming up. It'll be the first pitch to Tyler Flowers, 233, 4 home runs and 15 RBIs for the Braves catcher. There he gets a fastball in there for a strike.
Flowers, a good double play candidate. That's a good pitch right there. Good location. Flowers does a nice job of laying off that. I'd go right back there again.
One ball, one strike here to Flowers. 2 runs in on the 2-run single by Camargo. 1-2. Craig Counsell told us that Wilkerson, he likes to work up in the zone with that fastball. Doesn't throw very hard velocity wise, but has that high spin rate. Markakis at third, Camargo at second, Culberson at first, with 1 out here in the first. And the 1-2 is fouled back.
When you talk about the high spin rate, you know, why is that effective when the pitch is up in the zone? It fights gravity a bit more, and that's what it is. So it gives the appearance of rising or staying on the same plane. Effectively, what it's doing is it's not dropping as much as some pitchers with the lesser spin rate have.
Another 1-2, and he gets the strikeout for out number 2.
See, this is the slider, the cutter down and away. Great location. You got to be careful here with Swanson.
Dansby Swanson, 248, 7 home runs, 34 RBIs.
Remember how hot he was at the beginning of the year.
He's first pitch swinging, fouling it back. Former #1 overall pick out of Vanderbilt by Arizona, was traded to Atlanta, his hometown team. Both he and Culberson, hometown guys playing for the Atlanta Braves. Culberson out of Rome, Georgia. And Swanson right there in Atlanta. And he's behind in the count, 0-2. If Wilkerson can get out of this with giving up just 2 runs, that's a small victory.
Well, it is. I mean, you figure that Milwaukee is going to put some runs up on the board. You don't let the game get out of hand, but you still got to get Swanson here.
37th pitch of the inning. 0-2 is chop foul. I know when you played, they weren't talking about spin rate, but was there a guy who you would go back to the dugout going, man, I didn't feel like you threw that hard, but that got on me quickly?
Well, so, you know, it wasn't that balls got on quick, but some of the, you know, the taller pitchers, you just went like, how the heck did this guy just get me out? You know, it's 87, 88. You know, you felt like the ball rose. But it was, you find out, oh, it's a high spinner.
Swanson, pop up to right field. Eric Thames is there, and he will make the catch. So 2 runs in the first, but the Braves strand the bases loaded. Two 2-0 Braves on top of the Brewers as we go to the bottom half of the first. And the lineup here for the Brewers: Eric Thames, followed by Christian Yelich and Jesus Aguilar, Travis Shaw, Hernan Perez, Brad Miller. In the bottom third, Tyler Saladino, Eric Kratz, and Aaron Wilkerson to face the right-hander Anibal Sanchez, a guy who was signed to a minor league contract back on March 16th after being released in spring training by the Twins, and all he's done is go 3-2 with a 2.89 ERA.
Well, we talked to Brian Snitker before the game, and you know, he said, look, I did not expect this. I don't think anybody expected this year. But Sanchez has come out. You know, he's gone back. We spoke to him. You know, to just going out there and pitching and not worrying about, I've got to be on this side of the rubber, or this guy wants me here, this guy. It's basically, look at, hey, I've got an opportunity with the Braves. I'm going to go out and do things my way, and it's worked up to this point.
And that fell right into the zone for Thames, a leadoff single for him.
Just got right over the middle part of the plate. Obviously, Sanchez is going to have to work on the corners of the plate, and he's a location guy. Not going to overwhelm you with stuff, but he will change your eye level, change location spots. If he doesn't have that, a very hittable guy.
Yelich, 286, 11 home runs, 35 RBIs. They'll keep a close eye on Eric Thames, who is 5 for 5 in stolen bases on the season. No balls, 1 strike to Yelich. Christian Yelich, one of the big offseason acquisitions for the Brewers, as well as Lorenzo Cain, to really solidify that outfield for Milwaukee. Lorenzo Cain expected to potentially be back tomorrow for the Brewers.
Well, really, you talk about the offseason in a span of 48 hours. This team completely changed with the addition of each of these guys. Cain, a free agent signing, Yelich, a trade. And while they aren't the superstar guys, they are very consistent players. Somebody that a manager can run out there every day. You know what you're going to get. Dependable. You know, a lot of people talk about Yelich having the potential to win a batting title someday. Put him in this ballpark, his type of swing.
There goes Thames, the ground ball back to Sanchez. He goes to first as Thames is down to second base safely, one away.
Yelich already having one strike on him, can't take another pitch and let Thames steal that bag. He had it easily, but again, as a hitter, you don't want to go down 2 strikes.
And now it brings up Jesus Aguilar, and we showed his home run from yesterday, which was an absolute blast to straightaway center field. He's got 20 of them on the year, tied for 3rd in the National League, a .307 average, 59 RBIs. He takes the first pitch in there, first strike.
You mentioned some of those power numbers. What Aguilar really is he's an excellent hitter that's got some serious power. I mean, with 2 strikes this year, he's 3rd in the National League in hitting. Hits at a .273 clip. You know, and the kicker for me, with 2 strikes, he and Nolan Arenado lead the National League in home runs with 10. And he'll go deep in the count. He's not afraid to get to 2 strikes. Allows him to see more pitches.
Well, he's at 2 strikes now. Let's see what he does. And by the way, Nolan Arenado leads the league in home runs with 22 entering today's play. And Aguilar tied with Muncy of the Dodgers at 20. The 1-2, and that's up and in, and that hits him. So Aguilar will take first. That got away from Sanchez. He just said, hey, my bad.
Well, they're both countrymen too, right? Both from Venezuela, both from Maracay. Sanchez just trying to go up and in. Obviously gets away. Aguilar does a nice job of turning in that front shoulder, and he knows.
Just hope he's all right. First and second, 1 out as he's trying to shake off that right hand. But Travis Shaw now at the plate. And Shaw, he takes the first pitch fastball, first strike.
Yeah, I thought that ball got him on his shoulder, but it looked like it clipped the hand a little bit. Speaking about hand issue, there's Aguilar right there. He's looking maybe a finger, or you think, oh, finger or just a little twinge of the hand, but that for a hitter, that can be very compromising.
Shaw to right field, coming in. Markakis plays on a bounce, throws to second for the force out. They got him. What a nice play by Nick Markakis in right. And Counsell wants to wait, and they may challenge this as well.
That's the worst. As a hitter right now, you're Travis Shaw. You're battling for hits. You're trying to get something going. That's a rocket to right field, and instead that's going to be a fielder's choice.
No challenge by Craig Counsell. And it will go down as a fielder's choice, 9-6.
Markakis, a nice job in right field. Excellent play, knowing the runners, knowing the situation.
2 away now for Hernan Perez. Fouls the first pitch back, 0-1. The Braves got 2 in the top half of the inning. Here's Perez, 250, 5 home runs, 18 RBIs. Starting in place of Ryan Braun, right side tightness prior to the game. He was scratched. Perez put into left field in the 5-hole. Up high, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Ryan Braun. The Brewers are going to have an interesting move they're going to have to make tomorrow if Kane comes off the DL.
1-2 now the count to Perez.
Here's Low Kane. We saw him coming back from the batting cage this morning and went out and ran on the field later.
Sanchez trying to work around that leadoff single by Thames. A 2-strike hit batter to Aguilar. 2 outs here in the bottom half of the first. One, 2 is inside. That brushes Perez back. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Foul back out of play. We'll do it again.
And you watch Sanchez so far. You know, he's a ball or 2 off each side of the plate. And that's where he has to live. That pitch right there, not a strike, but Perez having to protect and close enough where it's enticing. Maybe that is a strike, maybe it isn't. As we watch Sanchez pitch through these next few innings.
And he got Perez looking at strike 3. So the Brewers strand 2 here in the first. We're through 1, 2-0 Atlanta. Pitcher versus pitcher here to open up the second. It's Aaron Wilkerson against Anibal Sanchez. And Sanchez takes the first pitch for a strike. This is a big inning right now for Wilkerson. After throwing 38 pitches in that first inning, he got out of that bases loaded jam with 2 outs. And now he strikes out Sanchez to open up the second.
Well, and that's what he needed right there. 3 pitches, just get Sanchez out of the way. You've got 1 out. You go to the top of the lineup. Again, it may have just been first inning jitters, just unable to locate.
Ender Inciarte flew out to center field his first time up to open up the ball game. And there's a fastball for a strike.
Wilkerson, much like Sanchez, in that he's got to locate. He's got to work corners of the plate, stay out of the middle. He just doesn't have the stuff, the arm strength, in order to be able to get by with mistakes in location.
Two balls and 1 strike. You think about this Braves team with Inciarte in center field, his defense. You talked about him being a throwback leadoff hitter. Up the middle defense, Albies at second, Swanson at shortstop. This is a nice foundation they've got. And Inciarte, a little flare to short, and there's Saladino going back on the outfield grass to make the play.
Well, you talk about the foundation. It's an athletic ball club, especially when everybody healthy out there. And defensively, they have gotten better each month. A lot of that has to do, especially on the infield spot, with Ron Washington. There's manager Ryan Snitker, Ron Washington, the third base coach, former manager of the Texas Rangers, tremendous infield coach.
Albies first pitch swinging, glove by Wilkerson. That's a quick inning there for Wilkerson. 1-2-3, 2-0 Atlanta. Sponsored by Swiffer. If you've got a life, you got a Swiffer. You might need a couple of Swiffers to swift up Miller Park after this one. Bottom half of the second. Anibal Sanchez first pitch swinging as Miller to first base, and there's Freeman. One pitch, one out here in the second. And in case you're wondering, Croatia just knocked out Russia in the World Cup 4-3 in penalty kicks. Unbelievable. Well, the defense for the Braves, Nick Markakis in right, Inciarte in center, Charlie Culberson starting in left field here today. Freddie Freeman, we just saw at first. Ozzie Albies at second, Dansby Swanson at short, Johan Camargo at third, and behind the plate is Tyler Flowers. Here's Tyler Saladino. The first pitch is in the dirt for ball one.
Saladino got a hold of one last night. Hit a home run off of Poltanevich. He's just back from the disabled list, had an ankle injury. He hasn't missed a beat though since his return.
The 2-0 from Sanchez. 2 balls and 1 strike.
See Sanchez going with the slider right there on a 2-0 pitch. Great location. Look at that. I
Wow.
mean, that's the thing. He is just, it's corner, it's side, it's up, it's down.
It's pitching.
Well, there's never anything overwhelming. I mean, this is 85, a little movement. Flowers sticks it, brings it back over the plate.
And just like that, Saladino goes down looking. Second strikeout of the game for Sanchez.
And one of the things right there, you saw that 93-mile-an-hour pitch right on the corner. You know, he was talking to us yesterday, and he said, you know, now he's in a situation, and really any pitcher, you don't go out and throw as hard as you can on every pitch. You know, you maybe work with 88, 89, and then you save the 93 for a certain spot, and then you'll go back to 88, 89, you go to a 93, but you vary it. You're trying to disrupt hitters' timing.
Kratz fouls off the first pitch, 0-1.
You know, that's what pitching is, disrupting the hitter's timing.
I thought it was really interesting how he said he watches guys like CC Sabathia now, John Lester, those type of players who have had to adjust as they've gotten older.
And that's, you know, it's one thing to do it. It's even tougher. And really, the first step is to acknowledge that you have to do that. That's the pitcher you are. You can't just go and pitch like you used to when you were younger and, you know, blow the ball by guys or overwhelm people with your stuff. Sometimes that's tough on the ego.
Pop up, that should reach the seats. It will. And by the way, how good was he when he was younger as a rookie with the Marlins in 2006? He threw a no-hitter.
Yeah, had some wonderful years over in Detroit. Very cerebral. Had an opportunity to speak with him yesterday, you and I both. Very engaging.
1-2 just missing. He thought he had strike 3 right there. And you know he wants to get Kratz here. This way he gets Wilkerson leading off in the 3rd inning. A good job by Eric Kratz battling here with 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2-0. Atlanta leading here in the bottom half of the second at Miller Park. And 2 strikeouts in the inning for Sanchez. We're through 2. It's 2-0 Braves. Top of the third here in Milwaukee. It's 2-0 Braves over the Brewers. It'll be Freddie Freeman, Nick Markakis, Johan Camargo against Aaron Wilkerson, who had an 8-pitch second inning. Freddie Freeman singled his first time up, came around a score, and the 2-run single by Johan Camargo. And the first pitch misses, slowing outside for ball 1. Breaking ball that's pulled into the corner down the right field line. Freeman has his second hit as he's going to head into second base with a double. That'll be the 23rd double of the season for Freeman, who is now 2 for 2 on the afternoon.
Yeah, they want this pitch on the outer part of the plate. A breaking ball leaks over the middle, and a hitter like Freddie Freeman, he's not going to miss that at all. When you talk about MVP consideration in the National League, you know, he's on that short list. You have to talk about he and probably Matt Kemp with the Dodgers.
Markakis has, I believe, seen 5 pitches now, and all 5 have been balls. Nick Markakis is our Miller Lite player profile. Mr. Consistency. Look at what he has done this year.
Well, I mean, this has really been a renaissance year for him. He's slugging close to 500 this year. This is a guy that has not slugged over 400 since 2012.
He came up with the Baltimore Orioles, signed with the Braves as a free agent. And the Eric rule is in effect here at the Miller Park cafeteria. There's a strike.
First strike in second at bat here. And again, you know, if you're Wilkerson, you know, obviously you don't want to put him on, but this is a guy that first base open, still work to make good pitchers pitches.
Inside now, 3 balls and 1 strike. Markakis will take that walk if you're going to give it to him. (3-1), a good pitch made by Wilkerson there. And now it's 3 balls and 2 strikes.
That's a great 3-1 pitch. Markakis does what he needs to do there. Just take it. He's still got another strike. I mean, you look at the location here.
(3-2), and the second time that Markakis has walked in this ballgame. So first and second, nobody out, and 3 walks on the day so far for Aaron Wilkerson. Johan Camargo had the 2-run single with 2 strikes his first time up. He'll come up with runners on at first and second.
Well, he mentioned that Wilkerson got ahead in the count and left the fastball up out over the plate. Camargo does a nice job of just shooting it to left. Didn't get greedy and try to kill it.
Now he puts one into center field. Yelich, he's there in position. Freeman just to draw a throw. 1 away. Charlie Culberson, he walked his first time up.
Walked on 4 pitches. You almost feel like Wilkerson's a guy that you can wait him out. you don't have to feel like you have to get him early in the count because he may put you away with great stuff. That's why that at bat right there by Camargo, a little surprising. Not so much that he offered at the first pitch, but the fact that it wasn't really a great swing.
It almost looked like a swing with a runner on third and less than 2 outs. Just hit that sac fly.
Right, he wasn't up there to hit. It was almost like I'm gonna run into the ball. It's called hitting. It's not called contact. Saw Culberson take the first pitch. Wasn't a pitch that he wanted to hit.
There's a big swing. No balls and 2 strikes here to Culberson.
So that's that pitch at 87 miles an hour. It's up in the zone, and Culberson late on it. But again, it feels late just because the swing is a bit underneath the ball because it's got that high spin rate. Doesn't drop. It stays on the same plane.
That stayed too high on the same plane. 1 ball and 2 strikes. By the way, between Charlie Culberson, Dansby Swanson, Ozzie Albies, the Braves are bringing back the old baseball hair. I mean, this could make you happy.
I can't pull that off anymore.
Called strike 3 on the inside corner. 3rd strikeout of the game for Wilkerson. And the 2nd out here in the 3rd.
A great location right there, 86 miles an hour. And you see Charlie Culberson tries to sell it as a ball, but that pitch right there on the corner. Look at that. You see Charlie Culberson really trying to act like, man, that was way inside. But that's a good, as a hitter, you've got to do that.
Tyler Flowers struck out his first time up. Takes the first pitch for a strike. Flowers to right field. Thames over to his right to make the catch. We head to the bottom half of the 3rd. Still 2-0 Atlanta. MLB.tv is now available at a lower price for $82.99. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv to take advantage of this special offer. Aaron Wilkerson took the first pitch from Anibal Sanchez for strike one. Wilkerson 0 for 5 in his career. And he is behind in the count 0-2 to Sanchez, who struck out 3 of the last 4 batters he has faced.
Sanchez trying to return the favor. 3-pitch strikeout, and
oh, so close. Instead, it's a 4-pitch strikeout. And it's the 4th strikeout of the game for Sanchez. And here comes Eric Thames, singled his first time up.
See that OPS of 903, 12 home runs. Remember, he missed 41 games with that thumb injury. Made a great catch the other night out in right field.
Off-speed pitch in there for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. That is fouled off the foot.
That's the worst as a hitter. You hit a ball off your foot, your shin, your knee, and it just starts thumping. It almost feels like it has a heartbeat of its own, and you've got to get back in the box, and you're not feeling comfortable. And sometimes, a lot of times, a pitcher will go right back in that same spot. You know, especially if you hit a ball off your foot, he'll throw that for a right-hander, maybe a slider down and into a lefty. You know, the last thing you want to do is hit another one off your foot. See the shift right there.
He came back inside, missed. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Thames.
Yeah, went back low and in. And you see when he misses, it's not missing by much. It's a ball or 2 off of the plate. Got to be disciplined to lay off those pitches.
And now he gets the outside corner for strike 3. So that's 4 consecutive strikeouts for Sanchez, 5 in the game.
I mean, it's crazy right now how good his location is. I mean, look at that. That is right there on the corner. I mean, that you can't throw a better pitcher's pitch. You know, as a hitter, you got to hope that he calls that a ball.
2 away for Christian Yelich. Good off-speed pitch there by Sanchez. Yelich grounded back to Sanchez his first time up. That's bounce foul. No balls and 2 strikes. Our Gatorade proven performer Christian Yelich providing the offensive spark. He, like Nick Markakis, just so consistent.
Yeah, not a guy that you say, wow, superstar player, but somebody that every day comes out, produces. You know what you can count on. You know, for a manager, it doesn't get any better than that.
Sanchez nearly struck out the side. Yelich just able to get a piece of it. Flowers couldn't hang on.
Well, this is a 10th hitter to face Sanchez, and in 8 of those 10, he's thrown a first pitch strike. I mean, that changes the whole at bat. When you're up 1-0 as a hitter as opposed to 0-1, I mean, your odds just go.
Well, he does strike out the side. The last 2 looking. He's got 6 through 3. Top of the fourth here at Miller Park in Milwaukee. Justin Kutcher alongside Eric Karros. 2-0 Atlanta leading. It's Dansby Swanson leading off against Aaron Wilkerson. Takes the pitch up high for ball one. Swanson flew out to right field his first time up. Aaron Wilkerson making the spot start in place of Brent Suter, placed on the DL with left forearm tightness. That's 1 ball and 1 strike to Swanson. There's Suter. Good pitch, 1-2.
So far, you know, Wilkerson had the tough first inning. Second inning was 1-2-3. Third inning was in trouble, escaped it. So far, this should be a good inning for him, right? This is
the even number innings.
That's what I was trying to say.
Staying alive is Dansby Swanson.
Well, he's got 8-9-1, so it's, you know, a good opportunity. You look at that pitch count right now at 66. You know, Craig Counsell telling us he'd like to get 5 innings out of Wilkerson, and you know, if he could have a short inning here, puts him in a good spot to get after it.
He had 38 pitches in that first inning too.
Yeah, no bueno there.
Up high, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And there's a strikeout on the slider for Wilkerson as he gets Swanson to open up the fourth. Anibal Sanchez will come in to hit here in the 4th inning, and he was part of an incredible team in the minor leagues back in 2005 with the Portland Sea Dogs. Look at his teammates on that team: John Lester, Jonathan Papelbon, Dustin Pedroia, Hanley Ramirez, Brandon Moss, David Murphy. Those were all his teammates on that team.
Please tell me they won the league that year. Please.
I was actually broadcasting for the Tigers AA affiliate in that same league, the Erie Seawolves, and we had Justin Verlander and Joel Zamaya. And that was pretty good. But then you go up against that Portland team and you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, but who was their announcer? Who was their announcer? Come on.
One away. My question to you: were you on any teams in the minors
They were good
that had stacked rosters like that?
I was on an Albuquerque team that we, you know, Henry Rodriguez, John Wetland, Offerman was on the team. Pedro had come through there.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, we had some teams. Like I said, though, the difference, though, could have been the announcer there. You know, you versus, who did Portland have? Heck, the Portland guy might still be there.
And Sanchez goes down swinging for the 2nd time today. 5th strikeout of the game for Wilkerson.
So again, Wilkerson, if you look at the pitch count and just, you know, kind of the struggles and the labor, he's done a pretty good job of navigating his way through trouble. 2-run ball game right now. You've got 2 outs. Get you into the 5th inning.
First pitch is ripped to Aguilar. And another quick inning there in the even inning for Wilkerson. Bottom of the fourth inning here at Miller Park. It's still 2-0 Braves as they got both of their runs in the top of the first. It'll be Jesus Aguilar, Travis Shaw, Hernan Perez here in the fourth for Milwaukee. Aguilar was hit with a pitch with 2 strikes back in the first. Just made a nice defensive play at first to end the inning. Anibal Sanchez is on quite a roll right now, having struck out the last 5 batters he has faced. Saladino, Kratz, Wilkerson, Thames, and Yelich. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike here to Jesus Aguilar.
I mean, it's crazy how good Sanchez has been so far. I mean, when we put that box up to show the strike zone, I mean, the only place the ball goes are in the corners.
Missing down low by the corner, though. 2-1.
I mean, he has been, the control has been great today up to this point.
Off-speed pitch is ripped foul. It's one of those scary ones. Looking into the sun for the fans. Hope everybody is all right. Everyone is all right. Nice gesture as that gentleman gave the young fan the souvenir. Another changeup. That was a Bugs Bunny changeup. Wow.
I mean, that was almost like an Ephus pitch. I mean, it wasn't, but it's 71 miles an hour. He hasn't thrown anything that slow today. Look at that thing.
You can injure yourself swinging at that.
Well, the thing is, you haven't seen that at all today. I mean, you haven't seen it against any other hitter. You don't even know that that's in the arsenal. And then he drops that on you on a 2-strike pitch.
Shaw to left field. Culberson by the warning track in front makes the catch. 2 away. Baseball's 2 biggest events of the summer, back-to-back. The action begins at the T-Mobile Home Run Derby on ESPN, July 16th at 8 p.m. Eastern. Then catch baseball's biggest stars at the 89th MLB All-Star Game presented by MasterCard, July 17th on Fox. Coverage begins at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That fly out to left field snapped a string of 6 consecutive strikeouts by Sanchez. Here is Perez. And there's the changeup for strike 1. I mean, this is a guy in Sanchez again who was released in spring training, signed to a minor league deal by the Braves. Brian Snitker thought, you know what, maybe he could be a long relief guy for us. Instead, he has put together a season where he's 3-2 with a 2.89 ERA and 9 starts, 10 total games. His last start came on the 2nd at Yankee Stadium. Now, no decision, 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. And not just that, but he's been a leader in the clubhouse to the young pitching staff. He's mentoring them.
Well, and so how about him telling us yesterday, you know, when you asked him, you know, who his favorite guys were and pitcher-wise, you know, he mentioned Greg Maddux and Pedro Martinez. But watching him pitch today, you know, and again, this is just through 4 innings, but it's Greg Maddux-esque in that changing speeds, working the corners. I mean, he is legitimately pitching today.
Two-two, left side, shortstop Swanson, low throw, dug out by Freeman, and a 1-2-3 inning for Sanchez. We're through 4. It's 2-0 Atlanta. Be on FS1 is sponsored by Swiffer. If you've got a life, you got a Swiffer. Top of the 5th, Ozzie Albies will lead things off, and he takes the first pitch on the outside corner for a strike. The switch hitting second baseman had an infield single his first time up, initially ruled out. The Braves challenged, it was overturned, and he came around to score on the 2-run single by Camargo. And that misses for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike.
This is a big inning for Wilkerson. 3rd time through the lineup. Now you're going to start to see the heart of the guys. Albies, Freeman, and Markakis.
Two balls and 1 strike. And on top of that, as you mentioned earlier,
say it. Go ahead.
The odd innings have not been kind to him.
Yep.
Going the other way, down the line. This is a foul ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. It would have been yet another extra base hit for Albies.
Now, we mentioned that at the top of the show. 50 extra base hits. That ties Jose Ramirez and Francisco Lindor of the Indians, the most in Major League Baseball. You know, this guy, he reminds me of Altuve just in stature. He is, as a swinger, though, Vladimir Guerrero, the Hall of Famer, where no matter where the pitch is, he can get it. Gets the barrel on the ball. You know, I watched him the other day at Yankee Stadium. He swung at a ball that hit him in the back leg. You know, and then the very next day, you know, he hits a ball into the 3rd deck at Yankee Stadium.
3-2 is fouled back. You mentioned the extra base hits. How about the club record for most extra base hits prior to the All-Star break is 53 by a guy named Hank Aaron. He has a chance to match that. That's incredible.
It really is. I mean, you talk about some of the accomplishments that this young man is on the precipice of.
Breaking ball is popped into shallow right field. Late break by Thames. Still coming on. Will make the catch. Time for a game break. Let's go back to LA and check in with Chris Myers. All right, Chris, thank you very much. Talked about the Phillies win streak coinciding with the Braves season high 4-game losing streak. And, you know, it's early. It is July 7th, but teams are already kind of scoreboard watching. The fans especially. I mean, people around here looking at the Cubs, rooting for the Reds to beat them.
Well, I mean, you can start looking at things. You can start saying, you know, are we a contender? Are we in this thing? Do we go out? Do we make acquisitions? You can start looking at the schedule. You know, look at, I'll be honest. I looked at this Braves schedule. When they get to September, starting September 3rd to the rest of the season, their last 26 games, I mean, outside of 3 games against the Mets, it is not going to be a lot of fun. And those 3 games against the Mets, you know, if DeGrom and Syndergaard are still there, you might get one of those guys. But we're talking about the Red Sox, the Diamondbacks, the Nationals. You know, heck, they've got 7 of their last 10 games are with the Phillies. I mean, I'll say, if the Braves are going to make the playoffs, they better have a darn good cushion going into September. They better be up by 4 or 5 games, because that is going... I mean, again, that schedule is not going to be favorable at all.
But how about the fact that you mentioned those last 10 games, 7 are against the Philadelphia Phillies? You've got right there.
But you're going to have to win them all. And I say that because the games you have coming up to those, like I said, your Red Sox, your Diamondbacks, your Giants, Nationals, I mean, you're going to have a lead. And then, you know, the reality is nobody's going to run the table against one another. You got 7 games against one another, you know.
4-3.
4-3, 3-4. You know, that's what's.
2 outs here for Nick Markakis. Let me throw this at you. If you look at this Braves team, what do you think what area do they need to address prior to the trade deadline?
Look, a starting pitcher helps them the most, as with a lot of clubs. But look, you'd love to go out and get the horse guy, you know, the DeGrom or Syndergaard. I don't know that that's an option or a reality. But a J.A. Happ, that's somebody that, you know, I think could help this club. And the only reason I say that is you've got some arms, right? Foltynewicz, Newcomb, but they're inexperienced. And there's going to be something to be said about, you know, games that matter in August and September. It's a different mindset.
Markakis robbed of a base hit by Saladino. Timed that one perfectly. A 1-2-3 for Wilkerson. Bottom of the fifth, still scoreless for Milwaukee as they have not been able to get to Sanchez. 2-0 Braves leading as Brad Miller takes the first pitch outside for ball one. Miller grounded out his first time up. And takes a strike. 1-1 strike. One hit so far for the Brewers. That was a leadoff single by Eric Thames to open up the ball game. And now we have seen Sanchez go to the off-speed pitch a bit more this time through the order. He made Jesus Aguilar look silly with that changeup, and now he's gone back to it a few more times since.
Well, and that's one of the things you do as a pitcher. You know, you don't reveal your entire arsenal early in the game. You know, you save it for certain spots. You introduce pitches maybe in the 4th or 5th inning, and you know that's something that he's learned.
Two got him swinging. Strikeout number 8 for Anibal Sanchez. As Tyler Saladino comes to the plate, let's go back to that play that ended the top half of the inning. Watch how he times his jump. I mean, that was perfect.
Good athleticism right now, and yeah, we got Kratz back there. Oh, Kratz may have gotten up higher behind the plate. He had the gear on.
First pitch, ground ball to third. Camargo, easy hop, throws across, and quickly 2 away here in the 5th.
I mean, I have not had a chance to watch Sanchez pitch in person yet this year. I'm telling you, this is quite a performance. Again, just being around the plate, you know, he's got the strikeouts, he's pitch efficient, you know, and this is again against a team second in the National League in home runs, and this is a very offensive-minded park.
He already has a season high in strikeouts with 8 through 4 2/3 innings, and he is at just 60 pitches.
And I'd argue right now that Marvin Hudson is, you know, neutral at best behind the plate. You know, it's not like he's got an expanded zone at all.
Doesn't need one there.
No, and I'd even say that there, as well as Sanchez has pitched and the control that he has shown, I mean, typically he would get, you know, a ball off the plate, a ball here. If he hits a spot, he gets it. But, you know, Marvin Hudson, he's been pretty diligent behind the plate. You know, if it's not a strike, he's not calling it.
Kratz asked for time as Sanchez was shaking off Flowers a couple of times. There's the changeup, missing outside. 2 balls and a strike. We'll talk about it more, and here we have Kratz now trying to disrupt the timing of Sanchez. But I was so impressed speaking with Sanchez about what a fan of the game he is. Not just of the present game, but the past. On the inside corner, 2-2. I think it's really cool to see the players, because you hear so many stories today about guys not knowing the history. It seemed like Sanchez knew his history.
Yeah, very aware of.
Changeup. Kratz to left center field, and Ciarte is over there to make the catch. Yet another 1-2-3 inning worked by Sanchez. Top of the 6th, and Aaron Wilkerson's day is done. He went 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Making the spot start for Brent Suter, kept his team in it as we make this Jim Beam call to the bullpen. And it's Taylor Williams appearing in now his 30th game, 0-2, a 2.84 ERA, 31 2/3 innings, 17 walks to 41 strikeouts. Has been really good against right-handers.
Yeah, and he has. And so what's the situation? You've got to give him a few innings. You know, let this offense get on the board. You've got Hader down in the bullpen. It's just here. Let's keep the Braves at bay here for the next few innings. Allow the offense to get on the board.
Camargo had both RBIs back in the first inning on that 2-run single as he gets backed up off the plate with that fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, Camargo was behind in the count. 2-strike pitch up in the zone. He just punched it to left field with the bases loaded. 2-run score. And that's a difference in the ball game.
Lays off the pitch, just misses outside. The appeal to third base. He did not go, says James Hoy. 2-1. Give Aaron Wilkerson a lot of credit. The way he opened up the ball game, 38 pitches in that first inning. It was going to be a struggle to get through 5. He did his job. He got through those 5 innings, making the spot start. Hands it over to the bullpen. It's a 2-0 deficit, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Camargo.
You know, and really, it's not like he got hit all that hard. Albies had that infield hit. You know, the walk, the 2-strike hit he gave up to Camargo.
And now Camargo goes down swinging. 1 away. Charlie Culberson 0 for 1. Walked and struck out against Wilkerson. Well, I posed the question as before we were talking about the Braves team, and you mentioned their schedule, especially in September. How about this Brewers team? Here they are, the best record in the National League. I don't think many people would have predicted that here on July 7th. If they're going to make a deal, what do you think they need before the trade deadline?
Well, I think I'd probably go with a hitter right now. Somebody in the middle of that infield, you know, that can play short or second. You know, you've got names, you know, obviously Machado is a, you know, that's the dream, right? But a guy, maybe you go to Minnesota, Dozier. You know, if Colorado, you know, they're still in it, but LeMahieu is a guy that'll be a free agent at the end of the year. You know, if they decide at some point they're out. But I think, you know, and not to take away anything that these guys are doing, but the middle of the infield, you could shore it up defensively and, you know, provide a bat. Look, Milwaukee doesn't have a window of like, oh, 3 years we're going to compete every year. That's just the reality. You're not going to compete economically with the Cubs. You know, the Cardinals are always going to be pushing, and you've got an opportunity this year to be the representative of the National League in the World Series. I mean, there is not a team that you could say, oh, I like this team a lot. Milwaukee, you could make as good an argument as any. So what allows them to win this division? Because that's what you got to do. If you're going in on a trade and you're going all in, it's to win the division. It's not just to play a 1-game playoff.
And that's the important thing, is that it's to win the division so you don't have to play a 1-game playoff.
You know, and that's why I said, look, I get it. You know, Machado's everybody's dream, and, you know, what do you have to give up? And it may not be worth it. But on the flip side, you know, this ball club, this organization has as good a chance as any to win this division, as good a chance as any to win this National League.
One ball, 1 strike here to Flowers. 2 away in the 6th. Low and outside, 2-1. To me, the last really big mid-season acquisition the Brewers made was CC Sabathia. And he helped propel them on an incredible run.
Well, and you mentioned it's, you go out and if you're going to give up some prospects. And look, you're not going to get something for nothing. I mean, that's just the reality of it. And you know what? You go back to the Cubs and their trade a few years ago. with the Yankees. Gleyber Torres to the Yankees for Chapman, and now people say, well, I don't know if that was really a good trade. Or I mean, look at the Cubs won a world championship.
Right.
Is it worth it to sacrifice a few guys to possibly win a world championship? And that every organization has to deal with that. Or is it good to have some cost certainty and have guys for a year?
A 1-2-3 inning work by Williams here in the 6th. Sausage race here at Miller Park. Bottom of the 6th inning, 2-0 Braves leading the Brewers. And we're going to have a pinch hitter to open up this 6th inning. I believe that was the Italian sausage going down. Oh, sadness. Keon Broxton's going to pinch hit here in the pitcher spot. And he'll lead things off against Sanchez, who has been just terrific through 5 innings. First pitch is fouled straight back, 0-1.
Shocker, that thing's on the corner or the edge. Hey, you look at Broxton, obviously the offense not a heck of a lot. He does have the 2 home runs, but the defense, unbelievable in the last week and a half.
Out in front of one, here comes Culberson on the run, makes the catch. An infielder has become a utility player, making a nice play out there in left field. It's about the journey, not the destination, unless the destination is $5.6 million. Download Beat the Streak today in the App Store or on MLB.com/BTS and start your streak to compete to win $5.6 million. One away now for Eric Thames. Thames has the only hit in the game for Milwaukee. And he first pitch skies one to shallow center. Swanson going back, and Ciarte comes in, calls him off, and quickly 2 away here in the 6th.
Well, you look at it, 67 pitches so far through 5 2/3 for Sanchez.
If you're Yelich right now, you have to take a pitch, don't you?
Well, this is the whole thing when you're thinking you got a new pitcher coming in, right? So, you're not worried about that. And you think Sanchez is probably going to try and work ahead with a pitch. That whole thing of like taking a pitch and this and that, So if it's a 5-pitch inning or a 6-pitch inning, what's the big deal? And if you get something you could drive, it's a 2-0 ball game. You know, he has the ability to hit one out.
Squibbs one to third. Camargo. A 1-2-3 inning work by Sanchez. He is dealing here in Milwaukee. Our game summary brought to you by Budweiser. Really, it's just a story of two. Anibal Sanchez, 6 innings, a hit, 8 strikeouts. Johan Camargo had the 2-run single back in the first. That's it. We got a new pitcher into the ball game. It is the left-hander Mike Zagurski in for Milwaukee. He'll face Dansby Swanson, Sanchez, and then Ender Inciarte. Zagurski, first pitch fastball is fouled back from Swanson, who's 0 for 2. Swanson struck out his last time up and flew out to right field his first time up, hitting .246 now on the season with those 7 home runs and 34 RBIs. Thought it was pretty cool speaking with Brian Snitker before the game, as he said during spring training, talking with Bobby Cox. Bobby Cox, 1 hop to second base. Brad Miller, nice scoop, retires Swanson. But Bobby Cox said Dansby Swanson would have fit perfectly as the shortstop for that dynasty the Braves had in the 90s.
Yeah, I think more of a reflection of, you know, the way he plays the game, his leadership, being steady. And remember, you know, the Atlanta Braves, they had some great shortstop position players there with Belliard and Furcal and Jeff Blauser. And, you know, but Bobby Cox really likes Swanson. Snitker as well. You know, and the thing is he's done a great job. He's really the quarterback of this defense in the infield.
And what's nice now for Atlanta is that you have Swanson and Albies together. I mean, to form that double play combination, hopefully for years to come. 1 ball, no strikes to Sanchez, who is batting here in the 7th inning, and deservedly so. I mean, if he were pinch hit for right now, I think you'd see the Brewers dugout go crazy, celebrating. Fouled back, 1-2. Sanchez still looking for his first hit of the season. And right now, the way he's pitching, I think he preferred not to get ahead. Go back to the dugout. Get your rest. That misses. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Foul tipped. Out of the glove of Kratz. Stays alive.
See this fastball by Zagurski. And,
oh, never hit the glove.
The perils of being a catcher.
There's a strikeout. 2 away. The Home Run Derby mobile game is back with more competition, more challenge, and more dingers than ever before. Enter the code All-Star DC to unlock exclusive All-Star gear at MLB.com/HRD game. Two outs here in the 7th. Ender and Ciarte. The center fielder for the Braves.
Zagurski getting it up there. 94 mile an hour.
Foul tipped. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ender and Ciarte, the center fielder, he got the chance to be the everyday center fielder really because of Brian Snitker. He saw something in him. He loved him out there. He thought he had some real potential, and he is a phenomenal center fielder. Outside, 2 balls and a strike. Breaking ball drops in for a strike. 2-2.
See that 78 mile an hour breaking ball. You talk about the differential in velocity. You got that 94 mile an hour fastball, then you flip that up there. As a hitter, it just becomes so difficult to maintain your timing.
You go back to that 94 mile per hour fastball, just missing off the edge. And now a full count here to Inciarte, looking for his first hit today. A fly out to center, a pop out to short, a ground out to first. The 3-2. Got him swinging. A 1-2-3 by Zagurski. It's stretch time here at Miller Park. 2-0 Atlanta. Jesus Aguilar will lead things off in the 7th against Sanchez. And he swings and misses at the first pitch. Aguilar was hit by a pitch his first time up, struck out against the changeup his last time up. Anibal Sanchez has been phenomenal. It's just fun to watch in an era of baseball where we talk about velocity all the time. I don't know if we've seen a pitch over 92 or 93 from Anibal Sanchez. And yet he's been in control until now. A fly ball to center field. Back is Inciarte on the warning track to make the catch. That may have been the first hard hit ball against Sanchez today.
Yeah, I thought when the big man got it there that it had a shot at getting out of here. Sort of just died at the track, but one of the few pitches that Sanchez has left over the plate. We mentioned before, everything is on the corner, a ball off the plate.
Travis Shaw to first base. Nice play by Freeman, backing up, taking the difficult hop, and a flip to Sanchez, 2 away. How about Freddie Freeman? We talk about him. You said he's an MVP candidate. People forget Freddie Freeman a couple of years ago had moved from first base to third base because he thought it would help out the team.
Yeah, no, that was a nice gesture, right? You know, and again, to try and help out the club, and that wasn't going to happen.
He wasn't going to stay there, but he did it. Perez takes the first pitch for a strike. I mean, to be the leader, the guy making the most money on the team, and says, you know what, I'll change positions. Sure. Matt Adams was playing at first base, playing well for the Braves. Cued off the end of the bat.
Well, I think it also says a lot, too. I mean, besides his character, you know, Freeman is very athletic. Again, he's got a pretty darn good arm as well. Real good arm, actually. I mean, he could hit 90 on the mound. Easy.
And with his stride, it'd be scary. 0-2 is inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sanchez 8 strikeouts thus far. The last strikeout came in the 5th inning.
See if he doubles up and goes back inside. Will he? Nope.
Goes the changeup. 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Hernan Perez. Strikeout and a ground out.
See Milwaukee wearing their Cerveceros uniforms. Got the Brewers on the front.
Low and outside. We have not seen a walk today from Sanchez. He did hit a batter, Aguilar, back in the 1st. From 0-2 to 3-2. Payoff pitch is fouled off. We'll do it again.
See that 3-2 pitch? He threw that right down the middle. Took a little off, though, 84 miles an hour. Wouldn't be surprised to see that 93, 92 mile an hour fastball right here. He's just setting up right down the middle there.
And there is the first walk. So a good job by Perez. Battling back from 0-2.
Flowers tried to help him a little bit behind the plate. That pitch was low, and he tried to snatch it up there and steal a pitch. Unable to hold on to it.
That is the first base runner for Milwaukee since Travis Shaw reached base in the 1st inning, when he reached base in the fielder's choice to right field. Here's Brad Miller taken off from first base, and no attempt at a throw down. A stolen base here for Perez. 7th stolen base of the season for Perez.
Well, and that's what Milwaukee does. They steal bases. First in the National League, now with 69.
Off of Sanchez. Redirected. Swanson deflects it into center field. And coming in to score now is Perez. So the stolen base pays off. 1-run ball game. The trainer's going to come out and to make sure that Sanchez is okay. Waiting to hear how this is scored. It will be a single and an RBI.
Looks like it got him off the right side, maybe a bit underneath the ribs.
And Sanchez, his day is done. After 82 pitches. And my question is, did he leave because of injury? If so, Winkler gets as many tosses as he needs. Or did he leave because Brian Snitker thought it's time for Sanchez to go?
Regardless, I'd say it's because, I mean, I tell the umpire it's because of injury.
Right.
Right? Just give Winkler as many tosses as he'd like. Now, I imagine, Winkler was up and getting loose, and, he'd been throwing down in the bullpen just in case Sanchez ran into any trouble. I mean, you just hope that he wasn't taken out because of injury, though. That ball did got him on the right side, and he was kind of rubbing his side a little bit. But right now, with the adrenaline and everything going, not going to really feel it.
Well, Winkler is good to go, and tonight it's 3 great games on Fox. Most of the country will see the Dodgers battle Mike Trout and the Angels. Others will see Mookie Betts and the Red Sox take on the Royals, or the Marlins facing the Nationals. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern. Check local listings for the game in your area. Shohei Ohtani is back as the DH for the Angels.
Big at-bat last night against the Dodgers, and Kenley Jansen spurred a comeback win, 2 runs in the 9th. Angels beat the Dodgers 3-2.
Winkler in against Tyler Saladino, 1-run game. The first pitch is up to Saladino. Saladino homered last night. 0 for 2 today, a strikeout and a ground out. Two outs here in the 7th. The runner on first base, Brad Miller, is the responsibility of Anibal Sanchez. A tapper out in front of the mound. Spare hand by Winkler, throws, and they're able to retire Saladino. It's now a 1-run game at the end of 7. 2-1 as we go to the top of the 8th inning here at Miller Park in Milwaukee. Ozzie Albies will lead things off here against Mike Zagurski, working his 2nd inning in relief. Albies, the switch hitter, will turn around to bat from the right side against the southpaw. And he'll take the first pitch curveball outside for ball 1. Albies has a better batting average from the right side than from the left side. A .296 hitter, righty, versus .273 lefty. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pulled, base hit. 2nd hit of the game for Albies. A leadoff single here in the 8th. And he is a threat to steal.
Nothing exciting there about that pitch, just over the middle part of the plate, spinning. Albies shoots it in the left. You mentioned a threat to steal. You got that shift going again. Remember last time Freddie Freeman hit it through the shift. Albies was able to get to third easily.
I'll check on Albies at first base. 8 for 11 in stolen bases. Freeman single back in the first with Albies on at first. It led to the only 2 runs of the game for the Braves thus far. A swing and a miss there by Freeman on 93 from Zagurski.
Right now with the shift, you've got Travis Shaw over on the left side of the infield. He'll stay there until there's 2 strikes, and then he'll shift to the right side. Saladino up the middle on the right side of the infield. And again, and this is a situation, if Albies does decide to steal, Saladino has to go to second base, and that really opens up the entire infield. Just so many things that can happen if you put Albies in motion. Obviously, Craig Counsell and the Brewers concerned about it. 2nd time he threw over. Also, as a hitter, makes you think that chance for an off-speed pitch here. Fastball.
Fouled back. Okay, so you said as a hitter, chance for an off-speed pitch. Why?
Well, just because, again, he's going over to first base. Are you worried about him stealing? Are you worried about you want to throw an off-speed pitch here? You know, and again, a fastball pitch, catcher has a legitimate shot. Now, we just watched here Travis Shaw again, because there's 2 strikes. We see him go to the right side of the field. Saladino moves back over to his more conventional shortstop position.
Albies and Aguilar having some fun with each other. Albies looking up because Aguilar faked him before by tagging him, trying for the hidden ball trick, even though Albies knew that the pitcher Zagurski had it. No balls, 2 strikes here to Freeman. 2 for 3 on the afternoon. Freeman puts one in the gap in right center field. Albies can run. They're going to wave him home. Freeman's going to try for third, and he is going to be in there safely. An RBI triple for Freddie Freeman. His 3rd triple of the season, and it's back to a 2-run lead for Atlanta.
Freddie Freeman starting to get hot again, swinging the bat well. This just gets right over the shift. Doesn't matter how many guys you have on the side of the infield. Drives this ball into the gap. Albies flips the helmet off right around second. Watch this. Oh, there it goes. Get that hair flowing. scores easily. Freeman into third base.
So now Nick Markakis comes up. Runner on third. Nobody out. And a little bit surprised the infield isn't in here. They're playing about halfway. Maybe it's the speed of Freddie Freeman at third.
Well, I think just showing where they're at right now, Freeman won't go. I mean, it's enough to say, all right, I'm going to hold here, especially with nobody out. You come in much farther, then you obviously enhance Markakis' ability to get the ball through the infield. So you come in far enough where Freeman goes, okay, I'm not running.
Markakis 0 for 1, a couple of walks, a ground out to short. That's inside. 2 balls and a strike.
I'd be shocked if Freeman was going on contact anyhow with nobody out. 1 out, I get it, but not with nobody out.
Jorge Lopez is warming up in the bullpen for Milwaukee. Going outside, 3-1. Obviously being very careful here with Markakis. 58 RBIs on the season for Markakis. Breaking ball is pulled foul. That may have been a mistake right there. 3-2 now the count. Zagurski worked to 1-2-3 7th. A leadoff single by Albies. An RBI triple by Freeman. The Braves trying to snap a season-high 4-game losing streak. And that's spoiled foul.
Well, the Braves are in a tough stretch right now. I think they're in a rut right now. 16 of 18 games. Teams that were over 500. They started the end of June. Takes them right up to the All-Star break.
Three-2 again, just slap foul.
You know, and that's the thing. As a ball club, you look at, you know, periods of your schedule, and you say, okay, this is a stretch where, you know, we're going to have to be healthy, or we're going to have a real, it's going to be taxing on our bullpen, or, you know, we're going to have to swing the bats well, and you try to, you know, you map things out. You try to plan as best you can.
Breaking ball is pulled. Fair. Another run will score as Markakis heads for second. He's going to go for 3. And Markakis is in, standing up. Back-to-back triples by the Braves. Freeman and Markakis. It's now 4-1 Atlanta.
Markakis' first triple of the season. That ball got down into the corner, and, you know, tough from our vantage point to see what was going on, but there was a lot of time spent down there. As you see that happen, that ball just stopped. It didn't bounce back, didn't shoot out, just kind of died underneath the padding.
And it looks like we're going to have a double switch here for Milwaukee. Jonathan Villar is going to come in to play second base with a new pitcher coming in as well. 4-1 Braves leading here in the 8th. Runner on third, nobody out. Here inside Miller Park on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. 4-1 Atlanta leading. A double switch. Jorge Lopez is a new pitcher. A 3.65 ERA. And Lopez gets Johan Camargo to foul tip the first one. New second baseman Jonathan Villar is in, part of a double switch. Villar will hit in the 9 hole. The pitcher spot will bat in the 6 spot where Brad Miller was hitting. In the dirt, 1 ball and 1 strike. Camargo had the 2-run single back in the first, has since flown out to center field and struck out. He comes up with a runner on third. And nobody out here in the 8th inning after back-to-back triples by Freddie Freeman and Nick Markakis. One and two.
You see what Camargo had that big hit in the first inning. Again, it was 2 strikes, just grounded a ball through the left side. Not trying to do too much. Bases loaded.
This time back to the pitcher. Lopez will check Markakis. He's not going anywhere. Flips it to his first baseman Aguilar. 1 away. Now a chance for Charlie Culberson to get that run in from third. Culberson has struck out a couple times and walked. And the first pitch breaking ball in there for a strike.
See, now the Brewer defense is playing in, especially on the right side, to prevent Markakis from going on contact, or at least scoring easily on contact.
And now trying for a bunt, the safety squeeze. Maybe it wasn't even a safety squeeze. Maybe he was trying to just get it down. Markakis never really budged from third base. 0-2.
Again, Culberson do so many things, you know, as far as just trying to win a game, and whether that's trying to lay down a bunt or shoot a ball to the right side, hit a fly ball.
What's your approach as a hitter in this situation with the infield drawn in, 1 out, and now 2 strikes on you?
Well, so I'm spread out right now, and I'm just trying to put the bat on the ball. I'm looking still for something up. You know, with 2 strikes, I'm trying to protect. I'm just trying to make contact. It's a free RBI out there.
Slow ground ball to shortstop. Saladino, he'll make the play. Markakis again has to hold. A nice job by Lopez to get the first 2 outs.
You mentioned a nice job up to this point. You still got to get Flowers now, and you can go pat yourself on the back. But Lopez has done a nice job with these first 2 hitters.
Tyler Flowers 0 for 3, a strikeout, a fly out to right, and a line out to shortstop. First pitch breaking ball in there for a strike. Flowers with 15 RBIs on the season. A 4-1 Braves lead. 2 runs in the first, 2 runs here in the 8th. One ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, that's a nice job by Kratz back there. You know, all he's trying to do right there is keep the ball in front of him. Drops down to his knees, just puts his chest out there, lets it bounce off the chest protector, just kind of deadens things right there. Really a good job.
Check swing by Flowers. 1-2.
ball Lopez threw just kept running up and in, and it was one of those things. I'm swinging, and then it's abort. It's really a helpless feeling right there as a hitter.
Lopez 1 strike away from getting out of it. Check swing. Did he go? He did not, says first base umpire Quinn Wolcott.
It's the right call there. I think I'm running a fastball up and in again here. 2-2. Fastball inside. Lopez has some life on that ball. Going away.
95, but low and outside. 3-2. The payoff pitch. Breaking ball, and he loses him. A 2-out walk to Flowers will bring up Dansby Swanson.
You know, that's the interesting thing nowadays. You know, he's throwing 95, and getting kind of cute right there. 3-2 breaking ball. You know, and this is not a middle of the lineup guy. You know, he's got good enough life on his fastball that he could go after him. Not really sure I like the sequence and all that.
Swanson looking for his first hit. A ground out, a strikeout, and a fly out. First pitch fastball at 95. Good pitch there by Lopez.
That pitch for me, I mean, you know, it's 95. It's got a little life to it. It's in a great location. That would have been the 3-2 pitch to Flowers.
Again, Eric Kratz not even trying to use the glove, just smothering that ball with a chest protector.
You know, he's had to do that a few times, as you mentioned, and right now Lopez, it's almost a wasted pitch because it's not a close enough pitch where a hitter's going to offer at it. You know, all it does is now that it evens the count. I mean, I just, if I'm hitting right now, I'm putting that pitch away. I don't care if he's spinning it, I'm not swinging at it.
So you're just sitting fastball right now.
I'm just looking. Well, he hasn't shown that he can get it over, and he's been effective with that fastball, right? I mean, you know, that's what he retired Camargo and Culberson. Culberson, he got in on the hands. Camargo was a ball right back at him. That fastball plays. Came back again with that thing. Like I said, and that's probably out of the zone. I don't, you know. But again, it's so much easier sitting up here watching. And yeah, pitch it. I mean, it's borderline.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 men on. You're on the top of the 8th inning.
Went fastball away last time on a 2-2 pitch.
He goes fastball away again, but misses just off the corner. 3-2.
So he did that exactly with Flowers. Went fastball away. That pitch is a strike, but he's not going to get it because he hasn't shown any type of command. That's a great pitch. If that's Sanchez, that's a strike. You know, Sanchez was proving he could hit that spot. So again, he went last time on 3-2. He went breaking ball. If I'm Swanson, I'm sitting on a fastball. If he throws a breaking ball, I'm not swinging at a thing.
Runner goes. It was a breaking ball. He swung and he fouls it off.
Rolled that thing right up there. I mean, again, that fastball is a legit pitch. I don't understand why he doesn't throw it.
Aguilar playing behind Flowers at first base. With a count 3 balls and 2 strikes. Flowers takes off again. 3-2 again is spoiled by Swanson. And again, it's the breaking ball by Jorge Lopez. Four runs on 7 hits and no errors for the Braves. 1 run on 2 hits and no errors for the Brewers. In the on-deck circle is Ryan Flaherty for Atlanta. Three-two fastball misses outside, so back-to-back walks by Lopez to load the bases now in the 8th for the pinch hitter. And that will get a visit to the mound by the pitching coach, Derek Johnson.
Well, I think a lot of it right now is just Lopez's inability. Can't get the, he's not putting away anybody with the breaking ball, the fastball. He'll throw for a strike, then he doesn't get a call, and then it's a ball the next time. And it just hasn't been able to get into any type of rhythm. The Braves haven't taken any good swings for the most part against him.
Marvin Hudson breaks up the meeting. Ryan Flaherty gets set to pinch hit here. 246, 2 home runs, 12 RBIs on the season. Bases are loaded. Top of the 8th inning, 2 runs already in. Ozzie Albies got the inning started with a leadoff single. Freeman an RBI triple. Markakis followed with an RBI triple. Off-speed pitch misses high and outside for ball 1. 1 career grand slam for Flaherty. That catches the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Got a gift right there. The pitch was a couple inches off the plate.
Slap to left field. That'll get at least 1 in. Ron Washington's going to hold up Flowers. It's now 5-1 Atlanta. Bases remain loaded. A pinch hit RBI single for Ryan Flaherty.
There's a fastball that runs away from the left-handed hitter. Flaherty does a nice job of staying with it, punches it into left field.
Now it's Ender Inciarte's turn, looking for his first hit of the game. This is the 9th batter of the inning for Atlanta. He swings over that one, 0-1. Inciarte, a fly out to center, a pop out to short, a ground out, and a strikeout. Three runs in the inning thus far for the Braves, trying to get their 50th win of the season. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Lopez was close to getting out of the inning. Retired Camargo, retired Culberson, then back-to-back walks to Flowers and Swanson, and a pinch hit RBI single by Ryan Flaherty. Up and in, 2-1.
If you can limit it here, you keep him in what my old manager used to call grand slam range.
Ground ball, Villar able to smother it. And he's able to get Inciarte to end the inning, but 3 runs, and it's now 5-1 Atlanta. FIFA World Cup semifinals on Fox as France takes on Belgium. Coverage begins Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox, or stream it live on the Fox Sports app. The semifinals of the World Cup is here. It's awesome. A new pitcher into the game here for the Braves. It is Arodys Vizcaíno.
Well, again, he's the closer for the Braves, and this will only be his second appearance after going on the disabled list through an inning against the Yankees. 17 pitches, 1 inning, no strikeouts, no walks, 1 hit.
Was on the DL with right shoulder inflammation. And the first pitch to Erik Kratz is a strike at 97. Kratz 0 for 2, a strikeout and a fly out to center field. One ball and 1 strike. Ultimately, I'm going to put you on the spot. Where do you think the prize of the trade deadline, Manny Machado, ends up?
Philly. How was that for a quick response?
Quick response.
You know, Philadelphia in this division, the Eastern Division, they've got probably pitching wise, I mean, they've got some arms, and they've got guys that are a little more polished. I think the staff is a bit more experienced, a bit further along than where Atlanta is right now. Their bullpen, I mean, it's arm after arm. And again, at the end of the day, I think the pitching is what separates them from the Braves. And I'd even argue that they match up pretty darn well with the Nationals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, again, you've got the Scherzer and when Strasburg is healthy. But golly, I mean, you know, Nola and Arrieta. You know, if you can get Machado, you plug him at third base. Again, this National League, or even, I mean, at shortstop, either or, this National League is so wide open that it's, I mean, that's a trip to the World Series. It really is. You know, it's not a situation where, you know, Boston or New York or Houston or Cleveland or, you know, any of those teams, they add a guy. That just means they add a guy.
Right.
Doesn't guarantee him anything, but because there's so much parity in the National League, you know, Machado, that's Philly makes all the sense in the world to me.
Jonathan Villar came in as part of that double switch in the top of the inning, made that nice play to end the inning, and this is his first at bat. 258, 6 home runs and 22 RBIs. Do you think DeGrom gets dealt?
I don't. I don't think they'll do it.
Bumgarner?
No, Bumgarner. No, the Giants think they can win. Giants are, I think they're 4 out in the loss
Giants
column,
are,
maybe.
Yep, they're 3.5 games out right now, entering today, behind Arizona. Them and Colorado are both 3.5 out, with the Dodgers 1 game back in the NL West.
Give me loss column. I don't like halves. 3.5. They're 4 in the last. You got to all play the same games at the end of the year. All I care about is that loss column.
Ooh, Villar. A sharply hit single to right field. You know it's sharply hit when Eric Karros goes, ooh.
Ball was properly struck there. Now, I think that this National League is going to be a ton of fun the second half. I mean, there are, I don't know, maybe 5 teams that are out of it. Everybody else can make a case that they're in it. 5, 6 teams. Trade here, a trade there.
Mm-hmm. Eric Thames waved at that 97-mile-per-hour heater from Vizcaíno. 1 ball and 1 strike. Thames opened up the ball game with a single, has since struck out looking and flown out to center field. (5-1). Braves lead the Brewers here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Upstairs, 2 balls and a strike. You mentioned it earlier, but Atlanta has not lost a series here in Milwaukee since 2013. A win here would give them a chance to get a series split tomorrow. And tomorrow, Sean Newcomb is on the hill for the Braves.
He's coming off an outing that wasn't great for him against the Yankees. Looking to redeem himself. You know, this is a heck of a road trip too for Atlanta, right? There's St. Louis. They start off with, they sweep the Cardinals. They go to New York, win the first game, lose the next 2, come here and drop the first 2 to Milwaukee. They can hang on to this. They've got Newcomb tomorrow, and be a heck of a road trip if they can win today and tomorrow.
It'll be Newcomb against Junior Guerra tomorrow.
You know, and just as a side note, when we talk about, you know, we talk about the pitching, we're talking about, you know, the Atlanta starting pitch. You know, I was looking, the starting pitching for the Milwaukee Brewers, they've given up the fewest hits in the National League. Their starting pitching. And, you know, everybody talks about, oh, they got to add a guy, they got to do this. They've got the lowest batting average against, which you wouldn't think that.
Right.
You know, that's why I say when you talk about, you know, Milwaukee and who do they need to add, where do they need to go? See Suter right there.
I like what you said
soon
about Dozier.
You know, that's a serviceable guy, and I don't think you have to give up the farm for him.
Villar's got good speed on at first base, not going this time. Thames skies one to center field. Plenty of room for Inciarte. 2 away. Too much launch angle on that one.
Too much launch angle.
So 2 outs now for Christian Yelich, who's looking for his first hit of the game. A couple of ground outs and a strikeout. It just doesn't seem like Vizcaíno has the feel for that changeup here.
Well, again, you know, we mentioned only 1 appearance since June 17th. You know, changeup is a feel type, and I think why Brian Snitker has him in right now here in the 8th inning, just to get him some work. Not a stressful situation.
That's off the shin guard of Flowers. Down to second base goes Villar.
Man, you go from catching Sanchez, who's just putting it, dotting the pitch wherever you put the glove up. You know, and here you got 98 all over the place.
It's a wild pitch, actually off the shin guard of Marvin Hudson.
Yeah, that went glove, shin guard, backstop.
3 balls, no strikes to Yelich. What you don't want to do is put Yelich on and bring Aguilar to the plate. He could make it a 1-run game with 1 swing of the bat. Flowers wants to go out and speak with Vizcaíno. Now the runner on at second. They got to change up the signs.
Well, you mentioned, I mean, that's an important run out there at second base. You get him in there, you're talking about 3 runs. This is a team that, again, second in the National League in home runs. Got Aguilar and Shaw coming up.
Villar down at second. 3-0. Yelich was taken all the way. The Braves got 3 runs in the top half of the inning. Yelich fouls one out of play. 3-2.
Just rear back and throw a fastball here. Don't try and get cute. Don't try and trick anybody. With the changeup. That really, I mean, it's just amazing that, you know, you throwing 97, 98 miles an hour, up by 4 runs. You know, you don't really want to walk him and have Aguilar come up.
Salfazano looking on. Salfazano, the catching coach for the Braves. Three-two. Villar goes. Camargo able to make the play at third to retire Yelich and end the 8th. We go to the 9th. 5-1 Atlanta. You tuning in for the UFC pre-fight show. It is available on FS2 and streaming live on the new Fox Sports app. As we go to the 9th here in Milwaukee, Justin Kutcher alongside Eric Karros. 5-1 Atlanta leading Milwaukee. The Braves trying to snap a season-high 4-game losing streak. Ozzie Albies, who is 2 for 4. Couple of singles, couple of runs scored. Led off the 8th with a single. Came around to score as he takes that breaking ball from Lopez. First strike. 1-1. Two balls and one strike. You know, when you think about a guy like Ozzie, a guy like Altuve, Pedroia, it gives hope to the short guys, to the short kids coming up.
Well,
Pulled to the right side. There's VR, one away. Go ahead.
I'm not sure I'd count on it, right? I mean, those guys, look at these guys are exceptional talents. I mean, being around all these two, I mean, that guy's he's a fire hydrant.
Yep.
That guy is put together. You know, Pedroia, he's got, you know, his attitude and just constant boom, boom, boom. At you, never quit. Altuve, that's just self-made. But those guys, I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean, I guess it's possible if you want to look at it that way. It's not probable, but it's possible.
For me, growing up, it was Mike Gallego.
Yeah, there you go.
Andy Stankiewicz.
Stanky. He's at Grand Canyon University coaching. Mike Gallego, I think he's with the Angels in the Angel organization right now. He's got Nico is coaching. He's at UCLA. Nico Gallego.
2 balls, no strikes. The count here to Freeman. Freddie Freeman, he is a home run away from the cycle. A single back in the first, a double in the third, a triple in the 8th.
I'll be honest, he's on my fantasy team, and I could use that because the cycle is huge.
And you're not going to get it.
No, I'll take a walk. That's a point. You know, but just good for the Braves as far as Freddie starting to look better, swing the bat a little better. You know, he's gone in a stretch, as we mentioned earlier, around Father's Day. Just, you know, been swinging at a lot of pitches out of the zone, strikeouts up. But again, one of the best players in the National League.
As Nick Markakis steps to the plate, he tripled his last time up, an RBI triple, his first triple of the season. Having an all-star campaign this year. And by the way, I don't know if there is a better proponent of fantasy baseball that I have met than you. Just getting into it in the last couple of years, you're hooked.
I'm hooked. I told you, it helps me keep up to date on all the players and the things going around. And involved every day. Good stuff.
Back to Lopez. Goes to second for one, to first, a 1-6-3 inning-ending double play. Last ups for the Brewers. They need 4. 5-1 Atlanta. Tomorrow, it's the Camping World All-Star Selection Show on ESPN as the lineups for both teams will be announced. Then it's the T-Mobile Home Run Derby on July 16th. It's all leading up to the can't-miss event of the summer, the MLB All-Star Game, July 17th on Fox. Bottom of the ninth here at Miller Park. The new pitcher into the game for the Braves is A.J. Minter.
And he's coming off picking up a save over the Yankees on the day before July 4th. 4 saves. He can flat out bring it. I mean, it's just not a lot of fun hitting against him.
Faces Jesus Aguilar to open up the ninth inning. Aguilar was hit by a pitch back in the first, struck out, flew out to deep center field his last time up. That nearly hit him again.
And that's a slider, by the way. That's 91 slider. That's not 91 fastball. It's 91 slider. That's not pleasant as a hitter. It's actually really not fair. But that's what guys are featuring these days.
Oh, that was nasty. That was 92 slider.
So and that is like that's barely missing Aguilar's right ankle. You watch where this thing ends up. I mean that almost hits you in the back knee too. That's just filthy. That's just not. As a hitter, you're begging for a fastball up and away. Ouch. Ouch. Oh, ouch. I mean, I hated facing guys. Al Leiter, I mean, this guy would just throw inside, then he'd back off the plate. He was a left-handed pitcher that just, I mean, just run it inside. And as a hitter right now, you're just going, come on, dude. I mean, I'm taking it. I'm not even. I'm just standing up there because I'm not going to hit it. And I got to hope it's probably going to end up being a ball anyhow. Like I said, you just got to get into a count where he throws a fastball and it's up out over the plate and you can hit something. But that thing in, not going to end well for you.
There was a fastball.
See, and that it doesn't matter. It was kind of like that was the, you know, Randy Johnson. Look at, I'm looking at these numbers and it was similar. Randy Johnson was 98 miles an hour. The difference is Randy Johnson was 6'10" and standing right on top of you. So, you know, velocity may have been 98, but, you know, velocity at the plate was probably like 100,000, right? It just seemed like it was, you know, but it was, when he threw that slider, you know, it wasn't happening for a right-hander. It just wasn't swinging.
That was maybe a bit of a hanger right there.
Hanger, and that's out over the plate. He throws that thing, that slider, down and in or in on the hands to a righty. It's just like you're screwing yourself in the ground as a right-handed hitter. Like, you got no chance. The best way to hit it is not swing and hope you get into a count where, again, you get that fastball out over the plate.
1 ball, 2 strikes here to Aguilar. It's like a changeup.
Yeah. You know, that's the thing. The Braves have some arms coming out of that bullpen. It's just, it's a young staff. Is it ready to win this year? Experience says no. You know, talent says, yeah, well, the talent's there.
Pulled foul, but I mean, conversely, you mentioned Philadelphia. Philadelphia has the experience now of Arrieta. Beyond Arrieta,
no, but you got Arrieta, and I think that makes a huge difference because that's a guy that's won. That's a guy that can talk to the rest of the staff. That's a guy that you can emulate. That's a guy that's not afraid to stand up to anybody in that clubhouse, the front office. You know, that's why they went out and signed him. That's why they brought him. Talent and experience.
fastball at 98. You can tell that Minter reached back for that one as he almost fell off the back of the mount. Little recoil.
I mean, he kind of reminds me of a Billy Wagner sort of. You know, not a real big guy, but you know, a stocky guy, but that could just bring it. Billy Wagner, a great career with the Astros.
Phillies,
yeah.
No balls, 1 strike here to Shaw.
I mean, you look at Billy Wagner's numbers. I mean, that's real. He's borderline Hall of Fame.
And how about the fact that he was actually a natural righty, and then threw 100 miles per hour lefty?
Yeah, he should have stayed a righty.
Check swing. Did he go? He did not, says James Hoy. 1-1. Shaw thought he had himself a hit back in the first. Markakis was able to get Aguilar at second for a fielder's choice. So he is 0 for 3. Now he slaps one to shortstop. Swanson, long throw, and there is the hit for Travis Shaw. Against the shift, an infield single for Shaw.
Shaw does a nice job of just battling that thing off, that thing running in, and he kind of fights it over to the left side of the infield. And Swanson does all he can to get there and flip it over to first.
Hernan Perez at the plate, walked, stole a base, and scored in the 7th inning, the only run of the game so far for Milwaukee. First pitch fastball at 97, first strike.
That was your pitch that you were going to get to hit. Ryan Braun on deck.
Ryan Braun with a pitcher spot due up next. No balls and 2 strikes.
Man, not sure what you're looking for there, right? You as a hitter, you're looking for that fastball away. You're not going to hit that slider. You're just not. You know, he's doing you a favor by throwing that fastball away.
High and outside, 1-2.
Got to believe we're about due for the slider down on your back foot here. Fastball.
2 balls and 2 strikes. The attendance today, 38,813 on a beautiful Saturday afternoon when Summerfest is in town here in Milwaukee. Picture perfect day. 2-2, fouled away. People oftentimes ask me what are my favorite ballparks. This is one of them.
Yeah, you're not lying. I mean, this is a beautiful ballpark. We had some great weather. 2 great teams.
There's
ouch,
that slider.
ouch, ouch, oh, ouch. That's two ankles we've got this inning. I mean, I don't mean to laugh, but God, I used to hate that.
Is that what you used to say?
Oh no, I mean no, no, because I'd be hopping around or rolling around. I'd be, look at, that's off the back foot. That's off the outside part of the back foot.
Hey,
that's
it's a back foot slider for a reason.
No, but I mean, it just is, you know. I'd be cussing up a storm at the plate right now.
And he comes back with a fastball and he gets the strikeout, 2 away. You would need some ice cream from Lorraine here.
Shoot, Lorraine got me the other day. Came in here, tried to grab some ice cream, grabbed the wrong cup. Boy, she's good though. We made up, and
you got a
she's
real,
as good as there is. Lorraine in
you
Milwaukee.
got a real bowl of ice cream today.
Yeah, I got a new friend. That's what I got.
There's a new rule here in town.
Love Lorraine. Anyhow, here's Ryan Braun. Now he didn't start today. He was scratched. You know, his side was a little tight. Just hope that that's not a intercostal or. Oof.
That's all the way back to the backstop. Shaw was going to take second base anyway. Should be a defensive indifference. Wild pitch. It's going to be defensive indifference and a wild pitch. One ball and one strike. The Brewers are down to their final out here in this 5-1 ball game. And that misses inside. 2 balls and 1 strike to Braun.
You know, and that's the approach right now. Like Ryan Braun, you know, an experienced hitter, but that slider on the inside part, you let it go. And most of the time it's not a strike, but so difficult as a hitter to lay off of it. You know, you think, I'm going to get it, I'm going to get it. Usually ends up getting you.
That was a pitch to hit, fouled back. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, the story of this game was Anibal Sanchez. Sanchez went 6 2/3, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, a season high for Atlanta. If they hold on, he'll move to 4-2 on the season. The Braves will pick up their 50th win. They'll snap their season high 4-game losing streak. The Brewers would fall to 53-36. And there it is, called strike 3 on a slider up in the zone. Aaron Wilkerson, who made the spot start in place of Brent Suter, he suffers the loss. For Eric Karros and our entire crew here in Milwaukee, I am Justin Kutcher saying so long, where the Braves defeat the Brewers here today by the score of 5-1. Let's now go to LA and join Chris Myers.